Hey guys, so today I wanted to talk about my favorite cream products, and there's probably so many people that has done this video, but I saw Margareta Gräs do this video. She is a Swedish YouTuber and I will link her down below in case you wanted to go ahead and check her out. But she did a video with all of her best cream products, and you guys know I love my creams, but I will not include foundations, concealers, like cream products like that, but I will instead include cream highlights, cream bronzers, cream blushes, cream eyeshadows. That is what I am going to talk about today, so if you wanted to see that, then just stay tuned. So what we're gonna start off with is bronzer, and I actually only have two to recommend for you guys. The first one is Milk Makeup's bronzer stick. I have mine in the shade Baked. That's how much I love it. This is a full size and I have nearly finished it up. So when the product was low enough, it went through this and then it just fell off and everything fell into this container. So what I ended up doing, because I love it so much, was to depot it into a clean eye cream that I had finished up. This is from Farsali, very bougie packaging, and this is all I have left. This bronzer is beautiful. It's so creamy and it just goes on the skin so beautifully. Lately, I have been dabbling less into this one. Well, I am dabbling into it every single day because I want to finish it up since I have so little left of it. But I have been going in with less product because I even felt like it's so effortlessly beautiful on your skin when you just go in with a little blob of it. I will swatch it for you guys, and it is right here. Now this says that it is a matte bronzer, but when you build it up, it's actually pretty creamy, and it has a great slip to it, so it blends out beautifully even for a beginner. But having said that, I don't absolutely love the shade of it. Like, yes, it's everything I want it to be, but if they could come out with a shade that isn't as warm, I would be the happiest person in the entire world. And I'm gonna show you a bronzer that isn't really as good, but the color is better. And that product is from Nudestix. Now, I will say this is way more worth your buck because this one contains 28 grams, which is 1 ounce, or I don't get that because 30 grams is usually an ounce, but maybe it's different when it is in a stick form. I don't know. And this contains 7 grams. So this contains 21 grams more than this one, which, I mean, you do the math. This is a Bondi Bay. They have different colors. They have 2 colors in this one, which, come on, 2021, get out with more milk. But here is this shade, and I just adore this one way more on my skin. It's in this, I can't even describe it. Like, it just looks like a cookie, caramelly kind of shade. I mean, this is also warm, but it's not too warm that it looks like a Oompa Loompa on your skin. It is a little bit more matte than the Milk Makeup one, I would say is. But again, it's not like it's gonna look matte and crusty. I love a glowy skin. And this, I definitely recommend both of them. All of the products that I'm gonna talk about in this video, I will recommend, so yes. Now, if you wanted a contour instead, I would instead recommend this one. This is from Natasha Denona, and this is the Sculpting Glow Palette. You have a bunch of different creams in this one, but this is the only one I'm here to talk about today. The other products are fine, especially this glow base, but it's not my favorite, and I wouldn't purchase this because of it. But we're going to talk about the contour today because, as you can see, This is way more cool toned, and this you can contour with. It is super creamy and it blends out beautifully, but it is a way worse value because you're basically paying, if you only want like the bronzer I'm talking about now or the contour, you're basically paying a lot of money only for one product. So I would instead just purchase like this separately. But if you wanted the entire palette, then sure. And this palette is often on sale at the minute. So the way I apply my makeup is that I go in with bronzer first and then highlight and then blush. So I thought that I would mention it in that way today as well. And I actually only have 3 cream products. So they are all in different formulas so that each and every one of you can kind of take away from this depending on what your preference is. But I enjoy all 3 of them. So let's start with the one that isn't really a cream but is like a cream, and that is, oh my god, there's coffee stains. Wait. This little palette from Colourpop, this is the Dream Sequence palette. Now, this one I don't think you can purchase anymore, but it's basically the same when it comes to the Super Shock Shadow highlights. You don't have to purchase this palette, but the other shades are like this. And what means with that is that they have this bouncy kind of texture. So they do apply like a cream highlight without being like a cream highlight. I think that they technically are a powder, but it's just so creamy that it works like and feels like a powder, or a cream, I mean. So if I just touch it, like, it's so weird because it is definitely like cream. It's so weird, but again, it is this bouncy texture. So just go in with like a stiff brush, like the Sigma F03 brush, or something that is a little bit more stiff and not like a super fluffy brush, because that can kind of, it can be a little bit hard for a brush to pick up this kind of product. And I would also say, instead of, you know, wiping like this, I would swirl my brush because that picks up the product even better, in my personal opinion. Let me swatch this one as well. This is Mr. Wind, and this is Counting Sheep, which was the first shade that we swatched. So this one is very comparable to Flexitarian, but it's not as icy. I don't like Flexitarian on my skin. I bought it because of everyone's recommendation, but it is way too icy on me. That is just a little side note, but this is for someone that loves a powder but wants to dabble in a little bit more to a cream but doesn't really know where to begin, and that is scared that it might not love a cream, because Colourpop is super affordable and you can pick out a shade and it is a little bit more like a powder. Let's talk about a stick highlight now, and that one is from Milk. I adore this one. This is in the shade Lit. I use this almost every single day. Not as satisfying as my Milk Makeup Bronzer though, because that one I have actually finished up almost. This one I will never finish up because I only need a little bit. But I basically go in with 2 fingers and then I just tap it on. I don't have to go in with a highlight on top of it because I think that the glow that I get is super pretty. This will, however, leave your skin dewy and tacky. So if that is not something that you enjoy, maybe this isn't really for you. But I just painted it on right here, just like this. And the glow is just beautiful. It's very subtle and it blends in beautifully with whatever you have underneath. I would say, however, to be a little bit careful. I would never go on top of my base like this, because no shit, it's gonna be interrupted. That's why I go in with my fingers and then I apply it, because the warmth of my finger will be able to work with my entire base and this cream product. Now the last one I have is a liquid, and it is from Illamasqua. It's the Beyond Liquid Highlighter in the shade Oh My God. Now I do enjoy this one, but I want to say that I have always found liquid products to be a little bit worse than a stick form or a cream, like, you know what I mean? Like a liquid form is harder for me to work with than a stick form. or a baked form of some sort, which is why this is the only liquid product that I have in this video. I don't have another liquid product because I prefer so many other kind of blushes, I prefer so many other kind of bronzers. So liquids in general is something that is very hard for me to enjoy. So it says a lot that this is included in here. So I applied it right up here, and then let's just drag it out. A little bit goes a long way, and this one I would not go over with a powder highlight. It's over here, and it's just so blinding, and it dries down, so you're not gonna be sticky at all if that is something that you don't enjoy when it comes to cream products. And it's just gonna be beautiful. Like, you could even wear this, not a lot, but a little bit, with your foundation, and it would just be so stinking beautiful. Oh, it's just magical. So again, I don't love liquid products, so it says a lot that it is in this video. Now for blush. Blush is my favorite. And let's talk about a product that we already talked about, which was from Nude Sticks. So Nude Sticks has, and by the way, I have a video on all of my cream blushes that I can link right up here. I do have some new ones since then, but I will swatch all of them. But Nude Sticks has this formula. Where did I put the bronzer? Here it is. This is Bondi Bay, as I said, and this comes in a formula that is called Nudies All Over Face Color, and then they have another formula that is a little bit more dewy, that is Nudies Bloom. So they have Nudies and Nudies Bloom. Now I wanted to start off talking about Nudies, and I have first and foremost Bare Back, which is right here, super beautiful cool tone pink nude color, and then Naughty and Spice, which is probably my favorite out of the two because it's just way more my color. I just love it so much. Then I have 3 other Nudies Bloom blushes that I thought that I would swatch as well. I did finish up the Sweet Peach Peony shade, which is a light pink. This is Cherry Blossom Babe, and hopefully you can tell that it is way more of a dewy and glossy kind of formula. I love that on my skin. I just think that it looks so effortless. But if you don't like that, then I would stay away and get the matter version instead. But that was Cherry Blossom Babe. Then we have, let's take Tiger Lily Queen, which is just gonna be so perfect for summer. Oh, beautiful. It's like a peachy pink. It's gorgeous. It's just stunning. And then the last one I have is Poppy Girl. And this is a little bit more of like a reddish pink. Also, it's gonna be beautiful during the summertime. Can you tell I love my pinks? Then I really want to talk about my Milk Makeup blushes. I do want to say, however, that please don't purchase the full size, because these also contain 28 grams, and it doesn't matter how much you love blush, you will never finish them up. So buy a mini, do yourself a favor and buy a mini. I want to start off, let me go from the lightest one and don't really scare you right off the bat. So the first shade is Perk. This is a beautiful shade, but it is one of the only ones that you can't really build up. So it's not gonna get more pigmented than this, which, I mean, if you look in it, I wish it was a little bit easier to build up because I love my blush, but it is a beautiful, beautiful shade. Then we have Swish, which is a little bit brighter, but this is also a little bit harder to build up in color, but it's a little bit more workable. Then Rally, which is my absolute favorite. Let me pull down my shirt. This is a beautiful pink color. It's just a cool toned pink. Like if you love cool tones, you're gonna love this blush. And pinks, if you love pinks, obviously. And the last shade that is very scary is Quickie. It's not as scary once you get it on your skin. And this also shears out, obviously. Like this, I was going to do one stripe and show you how light it was, but you can blend it out. I also absolutely adore these ones that people say look like deodorants, and I'm like, haha, very, very funny. This is Pixi On The Glow blush. This is the shade Juicy, which I think a lot of people will enjoy. It's just a beautiful orange shade. I have adored this one. But my heart always lies with the pinks, so I just need to stick to this one, which is the Pixi On The Glow blush as well, in the shade Floor. This I've even worn on my lips because I just love it. Ooh, the shade is very similar to Swish, actually, from Milk Makeup. Let me see this one. Yeah, they're not the same. They are not the same. Maybe they look the same from a different distance, but they are not the same. Swish is way more vibrant. Okay, let me show you guys a little bit more before we hop into the cream eyeshadows, because I just love cream blushes, so I just need to include my absolute favorites in there. Okay. Natasha Denona Bloom palette. It's no surprise that I love and adore this. So this is what it looks like. These two are creams, these two are not. This one was my favorite for the longest time. And this is like a Snow White kind of blush. It is beautiful, but I get that it can be intense. And it is also like a matte or a powder blush on top of your skin. Like once it goes on, it is a little bit more seamless than a matte, but it works wonders, and it is more similar to a powder than the other blushes that I have talked about. But nowadays I feel like this can be a little bit bright, so what I do is that I kind of mix it with this shade that is next to it, and I just apply it like this, and it's not as intense. If I feel like I need a little bit more, I'll go in with a little bit more, but just to kind of share it out a little bit, because I haven't been into that extreme makeup lately, but I just had to include this one because it is one of my favorite blushes in my collection, and it has been since I bought it, maybe for over 2 years now. So the last blushes I wanted to recommend is actually from MAC, and I wish that they come out with a bronzer formula in the same, bronzer shades in the same formula. So this is the MAC Glow Play blushes. These are so cool because they are squishy. So this shade is, or this formula, like if I press here, can you see that it kind of follows along? It's so unique and it's so cool. It is so bouncy and such a cool texture. So what you do is that you just take a little bit and then you obviously apply it to your skin. But this is applying a little bit more matte. It applies even more matte than the Nudestix matte version. But it is super silky. It is a little bit like a dimethicone kind of blush, but I don't mind that at all. This is in the shade Blush Please, which is one of my more neutral ones, like in my entire collection. And then this is Grand, which is right underneath. It is way more reddish pink versus this that is a little bit more mauvey nude pink. And then we also have Groovy, which is such a cool color. And there, that one is. I just think that these are so cool, and again, I really hope that MAC comes out with a bronzery kind of formula when it comes to these blushes, but in bronzer formula. Okay, let's talk eyes. I would love to recommend the Diamond, let me see what they are called, Disco Diamond Duochrome Dazzlers for these, y'all. These from W7. I have all 4 shades, but they aren't available, so they were like this limited edition one. So I really want to focus on just talking about like products you can actually get. But they also, W7 also has some really nice jelly much shadows, like jelly shadows. I tried to see if I can find one. So here is my favorite. They are called Starry Eyes or Starry Eyes. And when you open it up, they're just like a jelly, but they, like I've had these for over 1.5 years, and they are not like the Colourpop ones where they dry out. This is in the shade On the Cusp, and it's just so stinking blinding. They are just so beautiful, and they settle, so they won't crease on you. As you can see, I have hooded eyes, and I can wear them without a problem. But I don't think you can get those, so I'm sorry for mentioning them, but I kind of just had to in case you wanted to fall down this rabbit hole and maybe look for them. So that's that. Let me talk about some true cream products. So I have 2 shades here from Charlotte Tilbury. I have Champagne and Oyster Pearl. I am actually wearing Oyster Pearl today, and I have a little bit of Topper that I'm gonna talk about later. But Champagne is just this beautiful champagne shade. I haven't had them for too long, but I have worn both of them, and they are like a mature kind of cream product, and they don't crease on you, and they apply beautifully with a brush. So here you have Champagne. Hopefully you can see it on my skin, but again, it is way more of a grown-up type of shade. And then Oyster Pearl, I think, is like one of their most sold shades. It is a cool toned, here it is. I don't know why my camera doesn't want to focus today, but here it is. It is like a cool tone shade. And then we have Champagne somewhere here on the screen or somewhere on my hand. I'm sick, okay? So it's a little bit hard to film. So these are a true moussey formula that I am in absolute love with. And then I said that I had a little bit of a topper of it, and that is actually from Tom Ford. This is the cream and powder eye color in the shade Naked Bronze. This, like the topper shade, is like a pigment, so this is not a cream. However, this is, so the shade underneath, you can purchase only this if you wanted to and not get the topper. And this is also like a very moussey kind of formula. I'm just gonna swatch it out for you. So here it is. So it's way more of that kind of bronzy shade. And what I love to do is to take, this is why I feel like they work so beautifully together. So I take the top just with my finger, and then you can see it right here, and I just apply it on top, and it just gets this beautiful switch. It's just magical, and I love it. Thank you, Tom Ford. Thank you. If you wanted to go for something a little bit more affordable, you can, and then you can get the Colourpop Super Shocks. I don't have that many of them. I'm just wiping my arm off a little bit so I can swatch these, but I don't have too many of them, but I do have a lot of them on the way. So when you see this video, I have probably gotten my first Colourpop order, and then my second one is probably gonna come in like 3 weeks or 5 months. But my favorite is Frog, and that is actually, I think, the first one I had purchased, because I didn't really understand the hype with these for such a long time. But now I kind of do. So this is Frog, which is a beautiful blinding liquid or creamy kind of texture. It's just beautiful. It has blue and pink glitter in it with like a champagne pink base to it. It's gorgeous. And then I have Birthday Wish, which I think is probably sold out. or it was limited edition. And this is way more glidey actually. But that is what that one looks like. It is way more cool tone, but it has like a warm pink to it that is making it seem a little bit warm still while being cool. Then I really want to make an effort to Bondi Bay. This is my favorite shadow from them. I do have more from them, but I'm just gonna mention them as a whole. As you can see how much I've used of this one. This is the shade Precious Topaz, but all of these are like the Stila ones without drying up. So they are called Living My Best Light. And again, they aren't drying up. Like I've had this shade and used it a ton for about 1.5 years, and they are just the best. I really commend Bondi Bay for making these shadows because they have come out with a lot of shit, but these have been incredible. I got all of the first 6 shades. This is also really beautiful. This is Peach Quartz. It's just a beautiful pinky peach, or a peachy shade with some pink in it. Don't know how well you can tell over there, but they have some amazing and beautiful shades. I'm trying to see if there is anything I have missed out talking about. I'm trying to only talk about products that I know I've had for a while that isn't like brand new. But you know what? These Lime Crime lid lights are actually also incredible. They are like a Super Shock shadow formula without being like... They are also that kind of squishy formula. So let me just show you guys Lotus. My favorite shade is Airy, but it's somewhere where I don't really know. But here you have Lotus. Such an immaculate shade. Let me just swatch it right here for you guys. And there you have it. It's just beautiful. Can't recommend them enough. I'll try to link some of the products down below in case you wanted to find them. But that was all from me today. It was a very long video, but I just love cream products so much. I think they are just beautiful on the skin. So if you have some favorite products, leave them down below, and like the video if you liked it, dislike the video if you didn't like it, and don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!